In superposition theorem, we what is superposition theorem? In a network where more than one sources, independent sources are there, we have to take one source at a time. Okay, so in this example, we have two independent sources and one dependent source. Okay, first in the network, whenever they give, you have to check how many independent sources are there and how many dependent sources are there. Here we have one current source that is independent, one voltage source that is also independent, and here we have a current dependent voltage source 5ia they have given. It is a current dependent voltage source. So this should be kept as it is. You have to deal with the other two independent sources here. For what the superposition theorem tells, we have to take one source at a time. So first we'll take the 20. When you take one source at a time, and if we have other sources as voltage sources, you have to short circuit them, and you have current sources, we have to open circuit them. Okay, that is the method we are following. What they have told here, and always for superposition theorem, they'll tell you to find current or voltage across any branch. So what they have given here, find the current IA in the circuit. So this is the IA. Okay, that is the current in the 5 ohm branch. This branch you have to find the current IA. So first we'll consider 20 volts. So when I consider 20 volts, the next source that is left is 4 amps. The 4 amps is a current source, that should be open circuited. So we will remove this 4 amps. It is completely removed. So when considering 20 volts, the circuit is as shown below. So how many loops are there? We have two loops, I1 and I2. Assume current in, go with the mesh analysis, assume the current in clockwise direction. Fine. So what will be IA? IA is nothing but I2. Fine. And see that IA direction is downwards and I2 is coming against IA. So IA is nothing but minus I2. So whatever you get I2, that minus of that will tell you the current IA. So when considering for 20 volts, just write the loop equations for both the loops. And one more thing, what you will do with this 5IA, it is a current dependent voltage source. So the current is depending on this branch. So instead of IA, what you should write? Instead of IA, you should write minus I2. So wherever you have IA, what you should substitute? You should substitute it as minus I2. It is current dependent. It is only depending on the current. You have to just write the current in that branch. See, you should not multiply this current with the resistance. When you multiply the current with the resistance, it becomes voltage. You should not do. What they have given, it is a current dependent voltage source. It is depending on the current. So just write the current there. That is minus I2. So wherever I have minus 5IA or plus 5IA, just substitute for IA as minus I2. Here I have written see minus 5 into minus I2 is equal to 0 for loop 1. Because the current is entering negative sign, it is minus 5IA. And when it is entering positive sign for loop 2, it is plus 5IA. So this is for considering 20 volts. Okay, loop 1 and loop 2, the complete problem is not solved. You have to go with it. I have put loop 1, loop 2. So find out I1 and I2, and just IA is nothing but minus I2. So that is for 20 volts. Next, what you have to do? Next, you have to consider 4 amps. Next step, consider 4 amps. So when you consider 4 amps, as that is the current source, what you have to do with the voltage source? The voltage source is short circuited. The voltage source is short circuited, and we'll consider the 4 amps. So again same 1, 2, 3, three loops you'll have. Okay, put them as I1, I2 and I3. Find out the three currents. What is the difference here? What will be the IA now? Since we have three loops here, what will be IA? IA is nothing but, so which current you have to take first? The current coming here, that is I1 minus I3. If you have taken this loop as I3, it is I1 minus I3. And one more thing, since we have at the border current source, so what will be I1? I1 is nothing but 4 amps. So whenever we do the mesh analysis, one of the point which we learned was check whether at the border there are current sources. Since we have a current source of 4 amps at the border, so the loop current I1 will be 4 amps. So we'll get one current already, that is I1. So only two currents, I2 and I3. write the loop equations and find out the current. Okay, I2 and I3. So now for IA, what you will write? For IA, we should write the this branch has now two currents. Okay, so you have to write I1 minus I3. Means wherever IA comes, what you have to write? You have to write I1 minus I3. When we are considering 4 amps. Okay, when the 4 amps is considered, the equations are different. When 20 volts is considered, the equations are different. You should be very careful while writing. So in superposition theorem, one source at a time. So first we took 20 volts and next we have to take 4 amps. So try to solve this problem and find out the current IA in the 5 ohm branch. This is one example, and the second example also, to have to find out the superposition theorem, you have to find out the current Ix. Okay, this is the current Ix you have to find out, that is the current in this branch. Find Ix using superposition theorem. So here we have nearly how many sources? 1, 2 and 3 sources. All are independent sources. We have 5 volts, we have 1 amps and 10 volts. Getting it? So first consider 5 volts. Okay, when we consider 5 volts, next what we have to do? This current 1 amps and this 10 volts. Okay, that will be removed. So 1 amp is a current source, so it will be completely removed. So that branch only will not be there. Only 2 ohm resistor will be there. And this 10 volt is short circuited. Okay, this completely is removed. And one more thing you remember here, the current source is having a series resistor. This 6 ohm resistor. Okay, this 6 ohm resistor is ignored. This 6 ohm resistor and a voltage source when it has a parallel resistor. This 4 ohm resistor. Okay, this both are ignored. They don't have any importance. Okay, this 6 and this 4. When we solve also you'll understand. So remove this 10, this is short circuited and this is open circuited. So the network will be like this now. Only 5 volts is there. And see, when you are open, you should not remove this 2 ohm branch. That should be there. Only this branch will go. Okay. So 2 ohm resistor is written and 1 and 3 are the other resistors, and this is completely short circuited. So you'll have only one line here. We have to find out the Ix current. So Ix current is nothing but I1. So whatever I1 will get, that will be equal to Ix current. So that is when we consider 5 volts. So next when we consider 10 volts, this 5 volts should be short circuited and this should be opened. Okay, when we consider this loop 1, loop 2 is written, you have to do that for when you consider 10 volts, solve the network, and next considering 1 amps. Okay, when considering 1 amps, we'll have this 5 volts and 10 volts short circuited. Okay, this both voltage source will be short circuited and you have to solve it. And since the network will be like this, when we consider 1 amps, okay, 1 amps with parallel 2 ohm resistor, you can do source transformation here. You can convert this 1 amp to voltage source and solve the network if for your convenience, or you want to go with the current source only, then there will be 1, 2, 3 loops. Okay, loops will be more, so equations will get increased. So try to solve this problem. You have to find the current Ix. Okay, this is about superposition theorem. So in superposition theorem, check how many independent sources are there. Check how many in that current and voltage sources are there. Take one source at a time, and other sources, if they are voltage source, short them, and if they are current source, open circuit them, and find out whatever they are given to find other voltage or current across the given branch. Okay, that should be done, and you can go with mesh analysis or node analysis to find out. Fine. So these are some examples of superposition theorem. Still many more examples are there that we'll do after completing. Okay, when we do revision, like, we'll go for more examples. So next we'll move on to the second theorem, that is reciprocity theorem. Okay, second one is reciprocity theorem. So what it tells, in any linear bilateral network containing only one independent source, the ratio of excitation, the ratio of excitation to response, okay, the ratio of excitation to response remains constant when the positions are interchanged. Okay, find the ratio of excitation to response remains constant when the positions are interchanged. Now consider the voltage, there is a voltage source which provides excitation and some current is, we get a current, that is the response of that voltage source is any one of the branch. That ratio, that is V by I ratio, if you consider voltage as excitation and current as the response for that excitation, then the ratio, that is V by I, remains constant. Okay, it will not change, it remains constant when the positions are interchanged. Positions of what? Positions of this excitation and response. If you interchange the position of voltage and the current, the ratio remains constant. If it remains constant, it means that reciprocity theorem is proved. Okay, if it doesn't, if we not get constant, then it is not proved. So how that will be, how that will be explained? If V volts is the excitation across AB, so this is the network we have taken here. There is one branch AB, then one more branch CD. If V is the excitation, this voltage source is the excitation across the branch AB, and because of this excitation, there is a response, that is current I across the branch CD. If you consider current I across the branch CD, fine. If V volts is the excitation across AB and I amps is the response across CD. The ratio of excitation to response is TO2. Okay, the ratio of excitation to response is, okay, V by I. The ratio is V by I. It is V by I. Fine. The ratio of a response to the excitation, V by I, remains constant. Okay, how it remains constant? When we interchange the position. What do you mean by interchange the position? Just this voltage to the current and current is brought to the voltage. The positions are interchanged. How the network looks like? Now it looks like this. See, this voltage is upward arrow. So whenever it comes this side, okay, to the RHS, the arrow will be downward. Okay, the voltage looks like this, and the current is coming down, and so whenever it goes this side, it goes to the upward direction. So you should be very clear with the direction whenever you interchange. So now the current has come here and the voltage has, the positions of excitation and response are interchanged. So whenever we interchange, even then the ratio, okay, even then the ratio remains constant. That is this theorem tells. According to the theorem, the ratio of excitation to response is V by I and it remains constant even if the positions are interchanged. Okay, that is this reciprocity theorem. Just interchange the position and find out again V by I and see that if you get the same answer, then the reciprocity theorem is proved. So that we will do with one simple example here so that you will understand. So there is a network here and they have told you to verify reciprocity theorem for the given network. So in this network we have a voltage source and there are two loops and the current is in the 2 ohm branch. Okay, this in this branch, because of this voltage source, this is the excitation I. They will show you the excitation also. They will give the excitation and response I. Sorry, it's not. It is response I in this 2 ohm resistor. So as usually find out the current I1 and I2 with the mesh analysis. So our response I will is nothing but I2. Okay, excitation is 10 volts and the response I is equal to the I2 current. So write the two loop equations, find out I1 and I2. So I2 is nothing but I. So I is what now? 1.153 amps. So the ratio is what? It is 10 divided by 1.15. Okay, this is the ratio of the reciprocity theorem, that is voltage divided by, that is excitation divided by response is 8.69. Okay, this ratio is written here. Next, what we have to do next now? We have to interchange. So this I should come here and the 10 volts should go to the response position. So when it comes to the response position, the negative sign will come down and the positive will go up. So the network should look like this. Okay, see here, minus and plus. Okay, this plus, okay, it should just come put in the correct direction. and the current should be in the upward direction. So the current will come in the upward direction and the voltage source is minus and plus. This resistor should remain there same only. So as usual, write again the. So what will be the I? I is nothing but I1. So whatever you get I1, that will be the response I. So first, next to find out, I write the loop equations. Loop equations are 2I1 plus 3I1 minus I2 is equal to 0 is of first mesh, and the second mesh is 2I2 plus 3I2 minus 3I1 plus 2I2 is equal to 10. Simplify it, you'll get the equation as minus 3I1 plus 7I2 is equal to 10. Put them in the determinant form. Two unknowns, two equations. So I1 and I2 will find out. So what is the response now? Response I1, I is nothing but I1. So that is also 1.15. The ratio what will happen? That is 10 divided by 1.15 is 8.69. So the ratio remains same. From both we can see that the ratio is 8.69 even when the position of response and excitation is interchanged. So this will prove the reciprocity theorem. So in reciprocity theorem, what we'll do? We'll see the excitation and response position. At first, as usual, how the network is there, simplify, just see the network, apply mesh analysis and find the response. Next, what you have to do, you have to interchange the position. You have to interchange the position of excitation and response correctly. You have to see the polarity correctly. You have to see the direction of the current correctly and put them in a correct order. Okay. After that, again find out the V by I ratio. If you get the same answer, that means the reciprocity theorem is proved. Thank you.